break. Hello everyone, and how are you? My name is Muhindo Mubarak, and I welcome you to our other lecture of learning how to create mobile applications using Flutter. In the previous class, we stopped at the level when we created our first mobile application and we were able to do some simple things like navigating from one screen to another, setting up the environment. If you're really following, you know what we are talking about, right now. So today we are going to go much more deeper and see and learn more things in creating mobile application. As we always do it, we always do two sessions. The first session 60 minutes and the second 60 minutes. So you can see I have already started my timer. So what you should do, get your cup of water, put it close to you, get your pen and paper, and try to focus in 60 minutes. After 60 minutes, you'll go and have your break, and then you come back for the last session. I know it may be boring at the point, but nothing is really simple. Everything is hard. So bring that motivation, bring that courage, bring that attitude that I'm doing a hard thing. Bring all that thing, so that you can be able to do what? Persevere from this first minute up to the last minute of the lecture. So let's get started with our today's business. So as you can see, I've already opened my Android Studio. If you don't mean what's meant by Android Studio, then I refer you to the previous class. So I'll assume that you have watched the previous videos. So I've opened my Android Studio. I'm going to open my project that I was dealing with in the previous class, which is what? M-Shop? Yeah, I think it's M-Shop. So I'll open it and then I'll start my emulator. But as I told you, if your laptop is weak, please don't try emulator. Leave it only for the big boys. Okay? If your laptop is powerful, okay, go ahead and use emulators. But still, for the experience that I have, emulators they are not very good because you cannot see how something is not going to look exactly on the real device. So better use the real device. Even though your laptop is as fast as how, emulator has a way how it slows things. So use a real device, use your real Android phone, okay? And you see how your final application look like on a real phone, as well as how things will look like exactly on a real phone. So I've opened my application. Did I open the right thing? I don't think I opened the right thing. Let me close it, and I go to GitHub and I open from the GitHubs. So I'll come to my GitHub. I'll be able to access the application from GitHub. I think it is, I can search here, shop. It was called Flutter something, Flutter Shop, this one. So I'll click open in Finder, show in Finder, and then it is here. Then I'll drag and drop it in Android Studio. Opening it shouldn't be a problem, okay? So it's going to load. And this is where we stopped at the previous class. So in today's class, we are going to proceed. I'll come after. Okay, I'm going to check. Okay, so today we are going to proceed with layouts. As I told you that everything is custom is organized into two. We have layouts and what? And the components. I don't know what the opposite of layouts is, but component, what I'll call component. A component is something that will add something on your screen that you can be able to see. Then a layout will be something that will help us to arrange things on what? On your screen. A layout is just like the way you can see things that help you to organize it. Like the way you see a box, like the way you see a cup, like the way you see a basket. So it's that nothing, but what really is there, what is added there is what? is the what we call the components. For example, if someone asks you to bring for me maybe 2 boxes of let me say, if I say bring for me 2 boxes of sweets, so what does it mean? It means that you're not going to count that physical box, but what you will count, they are the what? They are the sweets. So a box is kind of a layout. We don't count it because it does not really make value. Likewise here, layouts will not show on the screen, but a box will help you to carry the sweets. Likewise here, the layouts will help us to organize our components. So last time we looked at the first layout, and that was what? That was the column. Okay? So today we are going to proceed with more layouts, and we're going to see how we can make use of them in what? In Flutter or in mobile application. Oh my God, I've run on the wrong device. Sorry. Okay, so today we are going to look at the raw layout. So let me go ahead and run my project into this emulator. So as it sounds, a row layout, it will help us to arrange our components into rows. Okay? It will help us to arrange our component in form of what? In form of rows. Nothing else. Okay? And you know what's meant by rows? It means that one thing will vertically be next to the other thing. Horizontally be next to the other thing. That's what by rows. So we're going to see how we can create rows or how we can organize our things in rows in what? In Flutter mobile apps. So there my emulator has opened and the app has run. So the next I'm going to do, I'm going to collapse this guy by clicking here on run, and then it will be collapsed here. So I'm going to go to where our project starts from, which is here main, and I can collapse this piece from here. I can collapse these project files from here, so that you can see things clearly. I'm going to increase my font so you can see things much more clear. I've already reduced it. So I'll come to preferences, I come to editor, I come to font and make it maybe 20. That is super huge. So I'll save, and you can see things clearly. So this is my home, and then you can see this something called columns. So we have to add another topic here on home. So, but you know, this is only it is only one component. So how are we going to add another component? So it is better if we do what? If we add there another column. If we arrange these things in form of what? In form of columns. So that we have first component, second component, like this. Okay? In form of column. Okay? So I'm going to surround this guy, this inkwell, with what? With column. So to surround it with column, you just simply click there, and then you'll click on this light bulb, and then you say column. So they'll automatically create for you the column and surround it there. So you can as well manually create it by yourself. You can as well manually create it by yourself. And the main point here, a column will take children, means you take multiple what? Multiple components. So if I save, nothing will change because we have changed nothing but a what? But a layout. So I can duplicate this guy. So I can collapse, you see? I can collapse and I duplicate it. You see? Copy and paste. So I have now two things, column. Now, there is one component that I would like to show you. We will look at it in future, but because we need it here, I'm going to show it to you. So these Flutter guys, they realize that most of the time we'll need what we call lists, because everything in mobile app is almost a list. So they design for us a component that we can use to arrange our things in form of a list items with simplicity. So that component is called list view. Okay? List view, not list view. It's called list style. Okay? So that list style, it can help us to organize our things. See, for example, here, things are compacted, things are mixed up. I want to put some space around. So to go through that pain of putting the space around them, spacing them, I can use one component of Flutter that is designed for us, which is called list style. Okay, to do for me most of things. Okay, so I'll just write list style like this and press enter, then put comma here. So that is one child that I put there. So list style will take different parameters. Among parameters that it will take one parameter called title. So you can press Ctrl and space to see the possible parameter that it can take. So it will take one component called title. So title is going to be the main component of that particular list style. For example, our first topic was column. So I want to organize my things. Instead of using manually linked this inkwell and the rest, I'm going to use this list style to do what? To create my components of this list. So list style will take a first component called title, and this title will take a widget. So a widget can be anything in Flutter. So going to take a text widget, okay, and this text widget I'm going to pass simply columns. So columns. So it's going to cover our topic of what? Of columns. So if I save, you will see, can you see the beauty? You can see that this list style has created some padding around. Things are not mixed like the way they were here. Okay? So this list style will take most of components. I mean, so many things that you may need to use in a list, but I'm not going to exploit them right now because that's not the main topic. Okay? So if you want to see possible components that you can do in a list, for example, in your free time, you want to learn beyond. There are two ways. You can press Ctrl and space, then you'll be able to see different components. Now, if you want to see what those components can do, press Ctrl and hold it, and then click on the item or the list item or that particular widget. Okay, press Ctrl and click on it. You'll see the parameters that you can take. For example, list style will take item called leading, it will take item called title, it will take item called subtitle, trailing, dense, what. So these are the possible things that you can take. So for whatever component in Flutter, if you want to see what it can possibly take, just press Ctrl and click on it. It will take you things. Now, for example, title, but I don't know what title will really take. So what do? I press Ctrl and click on title. So it will take you to the Flutter source code itself. Now, if you want to see really what title will take because you don't know what it's going to take, just press Ctrl and again click on that title. You see, title is taking a widget. And you know what's meant by a widget? Means a what? A Flutter component. So you can create any widget in Flutter here. So I want to add another thing. For example, icon. Okay? So if I want to add an icon, there's another thing called leading. So leading is the main icon that can be on a certain list style. Okay? So I can just press Ctrl space and write the word leading. You see? Leading. So I'm going to put here an icon. I can put as well text. Okay? For example, I can put 1. So this becomes 1 and then. But if I want to put an icon in Flutter, we have something called icons. Oh, I want to teach you everything in one day. So I can say icon and then I pass here something called icons dot. Then you'll find here different icons. Okay? We'll look at this another day, but don't worry, I can show you some few things. So the main point here, you see, let me comment these guys, these ink points. Let me comment them. Comment, Ctrl Shift, and the /. Or you can manually comment. If you don't have the shortcut, just collapse these guys, put here star and / and go where your comment you want to stop, put / and star. Just surround them with /. So I want to just comment these guys. Can you see the beauty? With simplicity, I've successfully achieved such a thing. An item that has a leading title, leading icon and the title. So I can add even another thing by just simply writing these few lines. For example, I want to show here something, an icon here, a trailing icon. So I can put another item called trailing, another parameter, trailing. So this trailing will also take, you can also pass a widget. So I'm just passing icon and then I put icons dot. For example, we'll have an arrow called chevron right. Icons dot chevron right. That will give you an icon that is pointing right. Can you see that beauty? Can you see? Icon, then and then here an action item. Okay? So I can add also a subtitle. Okay? So I'm showing you these things because they're just coming. Okay? So text and I just put here subtitle. Okay, so I can say maybe details. Okay, maybe demonstrate all about columns. Okay, so you can write here maybe an explanation of this guy. So if you save, you'll see the subtitle is there in kind of gray color, and everything is organized with simplicity without even too much hassle. So if I want now to put a click listener, like if someone clicks on this list, it should do a certain action. This list style also comes with another what? Another parameter called on tap. Okay, and you know what on tap does? Open your bracket, close it, open your curly bracket and close it. Then here you put an action that you want to do. So I'm going to come and copy the action of moving to the next screen. Which where is it? It is this one. That will take me to the column screen. You will still remember it. I'll copy and I can put it here between. So you know if will someone click on this item to take me to the next screen. So you see, I've organized my things in order without any pain. Without any pain. So you see, when you add on click listener, this list will show even the touch feedback. You see, when I click on it, that ripple, it's beautiful, isn't it? You see, that ripple that shows this is clickable. So the user will know this is clickable. But if I click here, I cannot see anything. You see, if I click in space, I cannot see that feedback. But all that is implemented for you. So if I click there, it will take me to the list of icons. So that is the beauty of Flutter. So now we want to cover another topic today. For example, a topic of row. That's the main topic that we're covering. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to duplicate this guy and paste it here and come and change here rows, and then come and change here all about maybe rows subtitle. Okay, I can write anything that I want. So if I save, I can change maybe this icon here from outline, and I try to search an icon called row. Okay, row. You see this guy? I don't know, it's called table rows, but I think I have something better. I don't know, this guy, table outline rows. So if I save, can you see? Someone will know these are rows, these are columns. So if I type there, you see, it shows me that kind of feedback touch. Okay, it's really beautiful. So now we're going to create another activity of demonstrating the rows feature. So another screen for demonstrating the rows. Okay, so that when someone clicks here, it will take him to that screen of demonstrating rows. So let's go ahead and do that. You know our screens, we have been putting them here. Let me increase the font of the editor. You know, after teaching your classes, I always go back to my normal fonts. Let me increase the fonts of appearance, and then appearance, and make it maybe 20. Apply. Okay, beautiful. So there we go. So I'll come here to our screens. Okay, so I want to create another screen for demonstrating rows. So I'll double click on this screen. I'm just going to duplicate this screen. Why should I suffer by creating a new one from scratch? Okay, I don't need to suffer. So to duplicate, just click on the screen that you want to duplicate, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, copy and paste. So instead of putting here the word columns, I'm going to call it rows screen, like this. And then say, okay. So I have now rows screen here. Now come here, you rename the class now. So everywhere where there is a column screen, I'm going to put rows screen like this. But that's going to become painful. It will work, but it will become painful. So I'm going to show you a technique that you may use if you want to do what you call multi-line editing. It's a very important technique. Okay, so I want to replace all the columns, the word column screen in this particular row. I want to replace it with what? With this guy, rows screen. To do that, I'll select everything that I want to replace, which is column rows, and then I press Ctrl+F. You know the meaning of Ctrl+F? You're finding. It means to search. Okay, so it means that it has been searched, And now if I want to replace it, you press Alt and Enter for those who are using Windows. For those who are using Mac, you press Option and Enter. Then you'll see I'm able to edit in different areas of my screen. So everywhere there is that word, I can edit. So I'm just going to paste my what? My rose screen. Boom. And everything is done. You see? It's beautiful. So I can as well search maybe this one also and paste it. Okay? Maybe where there is this word, column screen, I'm going to rose screen like this. Change this guy, put it here. Okay? So that's the whole point. Like I've changed everything by just one. Press Ctrl F, Alt and Enter for those of Windows, Option and Enter for those of Mac. Then you'll be able to edit. So I'll go ahead and change my title from rows to, from column to rows. Okay? And then I'm going to change this one. I'm going to remove this body. Where there is column, I'm going to remove it. And maybe put some text thing and then say my body, something like that. Okay? So this is just a basic class of rows. So this is a screen of rows. Now we are going to link this screen of rows to this home page. Like if someone clicks on this rows item, it should be taken to this screen of rows. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll come to my main and then come to where there is on top of of rows screen. When someone clicks on top of rows screen, I'm going to remove column screen and put rows screen. So that material push but rows screen. When you see an error, press Alt and Enter so this class can be imported. Okay, so it has been imported. Now I can save. So that's beautiful. Now if I click on rows screen, on rows, I'm able to be taken to that, or to the rows screen. Can you see? That's beautiful. That animation, we will see how we can get rid of it in future. That ugly animation that is between screen. But the main point is you can navigate to another page. So let's go ahead and go to the row screen. So another shortcut, if you want to jump to a certain class, just press Ctrl and click on it. You see, I've jumped straight to the row screen. Now, as I said, we're going to look at the rows. So what is meant by rows? A row is just like columns, but for this case the components are arranged vertically, one next to the other. So to create rows, I'm going to delete this guy where there is my body and put row like this. Okay, open bracket. So that is it. Now row, as it sounds, it's going to take children. It's going to take multiple components. So it's not going to take a child, but it's going to take children. So I'm going to pass here children. Okay, so I can start now passing the component that I want to put in this row. So I can now pass maybe text, and I put here 1. Okay, put comma, duplicate 2, duplicate 3. I told you how to find the shortcut for duplicating for your whatever environment that you're using. Okay, so if I save, can you see? We can look at that beauty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But they are arranged one next to the other. They are different components, but they have been arranged one next to the other. That's what made by rows. So this row and column, they are almost same criminals, but if I change, for example, this one to column, you see, I can change from here. If I save, so the column is going to be vertical, whereas for the row is going to be horizontal. That is understandable. Now let us look at different parameters that we can take from rows. As I told you, if you want to look at the parameters, Flutter is a freestyle thing. Simply press Ctrl and click. They'll take you to the source code of Flutter, and they'll give you a cheat list where you can cheat from things that you can do, that you can possibly do. There's no magic that you need to guess and maybe first learn from documentation. You see? So they'll tell you the first thing is main axis alignment. You can press Alt and Enter. So here they will tell you the possible parameter on it. That's a very important technique, guys, that I'm giving you. Let me go back. I go back to the rows. So if I want to see the possible parameters, guys, this is very, very important. Listen very carefully and understand this, because it will help you to teach yourself and become invisible. How should I say it? And become, I don't know, because you'll be able to teach yourself at any time. I don't call it invisible. I don't know. Okay? This is the technique. If you see a component in Flutter and you want to see, without even going into documentation, and see the possible things it can do for you, press Ctrl and click on it. It will take you to the parameter that it can take. So these parameters, they're English-like words, so you can relate even. Okay? For example, there's something called text direction, baseline, children, you know what it means. So if I want to see what, for example, max align, so they said there will be a component called max align, but I don't know what max align eats. So I want to see what does it eat, or what does it take. Again, press Ctrl and click on it. It will tell you max align takes something called main axis alignment. So just copy that guy and then press dot. When you press dot, they will show you different possibilities that you can do. So like that, you can be able to teach yourself and you become invisible. I don't know whether I'm using a right word. So let me go back now to my rows. See row. So I come here. First thing, max alignment. When you press when you start writing, it will suggest for you. Press enter. So we don't know what max alignment is, or we don't know what it takes. Go ahead, press Ctrl and click on it. They will take you where it is. Press Ctrl and click on it. They'll take you what it possibly take. So it will take something called main axis alignment. So I'll come here and write in capital letter, begin main axis alignment. They will suggest for me. Press enter. So when I press dot, they'll start showing me possible things that I can do with it. By like doing like this, you'll be able to teach yourself anything. You get it, eh? So you get it, eh? So that's it. So now one of the things it will take, it is center. Max alignment center. So let's see what it can possibly do. It will center for us the item. That is one. Another thing, dot max alignment start. You can guess. It will put the items in the beginning. Dot max alignment space between. What will it do? You see, it is putting our items between. So maybe you want to design your app and you want things to be evenly or to be spaced in that manner. In that way, okay. In that way of arrangement, okay? So, what will you do? That is how you will do it. Okay? So, you can go ahead and explore in your free time. And what does it mean? So, you're not going to be there again and say, I have free time or I'm free. No. There will always be something for you there for you to do what? To learn. So, and because you don't have specified content, we're not sure. Then you have space evenly. The space will be distributed evenly. And then lastly, we have space around. Okay? Space around. So the space will be put around the items. Okay? So if you put space between, see? Our items will be space in between. So I hope that is understandable, and I hope you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so if I put dot center, then items will be put in center. That is beautiful, isn't it? It is. So you can look at multiple, just press Alt and Ctrl and space. Alt and space. Then they'll show you different parameters that you can take. We have text baseline, text direction, etc. So in your free time, play with them and see what you can possibly do. So that's it for the row layout. Okay? We proceed to the next component. But before we proceed, let me first get feedback. Are we together? Guys, are we together? Can someone open the microphone and respond whether I'm confusing or I'm progressing? Anyone, please. Are you here? Olga, are you there? Olga. Oh, you're Verify here from Verify. Are we together, Olga? Okay, you understanding concepts, eh? You're getting it? Okay, that's it. That's good. Okay, thank you. You may not understand the exact algorithm right now, like things may look like Chinese, but no problem. Just know when you practice 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, these things you'll be able to do what? To understand them. Beautiful. So we proceed. We have looked at rows. Mugerwa Mohammed, you can mute. So we proceed to another thing. Mugerwa, can you mute? Okay, no problem. So we proceed. We come back to our main. So here we are going now to look at. We are going to look at now how we can do what. We're going to look at another layout. We began with layout. I've looked at row. We've looked at columns. We've looked at what? We've looked at. So we're going to look at another layout called container. Okay. So container is going to be your friend. It's very, very important layout that you're going to need almost every time. So let us go ahead and look at what? Look at the container layout. So I'm going to go ahead and create another component, another screen for the container layout, because I don't want to mix my things. I want when you land on my source code, you should be able to relate how things are being organized. So let me go ahead and create a separate screen for the container layout. As I said, you click on the class, the screen that you want to duplicate, copy it, paste it. Okay? So I'm going to call this guy container. Okay? So another technique, always copy this name before you click OK. So that when you're creating a class, you create the class with the same name. Press OK. So there we go. So we have container. So I'm going to come here and search for where there is the word draw screen. I'm going to search where there is that word. Press Ctrl F, Alt and Enter, paste it. Okay. I don't know why this guy is not updating. I'm having a different one. Okay. So they have created this screen. So it is as simple as that to create a new screen. But my friend, you know what it means by creating a new screen using Java, and hey, super painful. So I'm going to come here and say container. See, someone has written the section. Hello, I wanted to ask about columns. What if you want screen with 2 columns but with different data? That is your homework. Why do you need 2 columns with different data? Why? Use grid layouts. Yeah. There are other layouts, eh? Okay. There are other layouts, grid layouts. You're going to see how you can create even lists dynamically. We are going there. So those questions, some of them you'll have to figure them from what? From Google. So here we are. So this is a container screen. I'm going to duplicate here. I'm going to cut this one and call container screen. You can also put a column within a column if you didn't know. You can put a column within a column. You can put a row within a row. So before you ask, first try your minds. Try to practice as much as you can. Spend 2 nights without sleeping while you're learning Flutter and tell me the results. Eh? For me, if I already know Flutter and I'm spending a whole night learning it while I already know, when you look at me, unless you're a genius. So please give it your time and keep on practicing. So this is container. We are going to see how what's meant by container. So let me just put here my simple text. Okay, so I'm going to put this screen to our home. Okay, so come back to the main, and I'm going to duplicate this guy and create another item for container. By the way, the list style, other things are optional. You can even not put even the leading, you can leave it if you want. So there we go. I'm going to change this guy to containers, or you can call container. And then I can put here all about what? All about container, etc. I don't know. Okay, so I can look for a relevant icon by putting here dot. I don't know, they can hide something container. I don't know. Let me see something like looks like. I don't know how I can call it even. Because these icons, not everything is there. Let me use this box guy. This guy. Okay. So, container. Not everything is in the icon, that I should show you. So I can also now change this screen. When someone clicks here, it should be taken to container. When it cries, press Alt and Enter, and it does what? And solves this one. So I save. So we have container there. Now let me go ahead and click here and see if we can proceed to container. Beautiful. When I click there, I proceed to container. That is nice. So now let us look at what's meant by container. So container is nothing but a container as it sounds. So let's go ahead and see. To create a container, you just simply click on an item that you want to run with. A container is just a box. Those who have ever done web programming, a container is something like a div. If someone asks you what is a div is almost nothing. But its use, it helps you to organize things in form of with certain parameters, you know. So these guys that you're seeing here, this is my container. So this guy, we can surround it with what? With a container. It will not do so much, but it will be very important as you proceed. It will help you to put your things in a certain group and start giving it rules. So I'm going to come here and wrap it with container. So a container will take only one child. I say if you want your things to be organized with a new line, you just put a comma here at the last bracket, and then press Ctrl Alt Ctrl and L to auto arrange. If you're using Visual Studio Code, then it's Ctrl Shift F. If it's not working, search auto arrange code from Google and then specify your editor. Then they will give you a shortcut. So you see, my code has been arranged. So it is just nothing but container that takes a child, and the child can be a widget. So if I save, do you see anything changing? No. Okay, let us now look at different things that a container can take. So press Alt and Enter. You see, a container will take height, it will take color, it will take margin, it will take width, it will take, you see, there's some important things that a container can take. For example, I want to limit the height. Okay, let us begin with possible things. Press Ctrl and Enter. You see, container will take alignment. So I can come here and say alignment, and most of Flutter things, the parameters will always be almost the same as the word, whereby the beginning letter is capital. You see? So if I click on alignment and I click on alignment, can you see? It's just alignment geometry. So if I come and say here alignment, you see alignment is there. So I press dot. These are the possible alignments that you have. So alignment can be center. So if I press center, you see the items have come to the center. Okay. If I press center right, you see the item have come in the center but in the right. If I place center left, I've come to the center but the left. If I put center bottom right, you see, bottom and right, it is here. So that is how we can play with what? With container. So go ahead and learn how you can possibly place your item in different sections. So if I put alignment center, our item is there in the center. That's beautiful, isn't it? So that is one. So what other parameter can it take? Press Alt and Enter. It can take height. Let me follow one by one. It can take padding. But before we look at padding, let's look at color. So this container can have color. So go ahead and put the color parameter. Okay, color parameter. So press and come here. So what does color take? Some things, of course, you'll have to learn them before. Here, so color, it will take color. So color, if you want to specify color in Flutter, we have an object that gives you almost every color that you may need. So you can use that class to generate any color. Now, when you need color, you should learn that if you need color in Flutter, there's a class called colors. Colors. Then you put dot. So when you put dot, you will find all the world colors named here. So you can put dot red. Okay. So if you put dot green, that will be green. Okay. Beautiful. It's green. So this is the whole space that's being covered by container. So if I put dot yellow, those support NRM, this is your color. It's beautiful, isn't it? Okay. So if you're watching the video at international level and you don't know what's meant by NRM, okay, let us also remember NUP people. NUP, yes, red. So that is how you can play with colors. If you didn't find your color there, still we have another item called color. You can open this guy and then you pass there your RGB value. Okay, those ones understand what's meant by colors. So you can go ahead and do that. Okay, and then you can put the color in it. But the most simple and beautiful one is this one. Colors, dot red, dot any color that you want, dot pink, dot purple, dot green, dot yellow, dot mention it, maroon. You see, maroon, no, maroon is a combination, so you may not get it. Dot purple, there you go. So let's go back to NUP, red, there you go. Now these colors, so we are now looking at colors. That's how we learn, one will connect to the other. So these colors, you can use them in different shades. Oh, really? Yes. Those colors, you can use them in a what? At a different shade. That's a tomato color. Now you can use this color from dot. So when you add a color and put dot, so you'll have a range from 50 up to 900. Dot shade 50 up to 900. So this shade is going to be the intensity of that particular color, beginning from the lowest to the highest. So if I put dot shade 50, so and I save, this is going to be red, but very, very light red, like red, light red. So if I put 100, you see, dot shade 100, slightly deeper, dark. If I put dot shade 200, like this, 400, you see, it's not painful, you know, very simple. So if the last one is 900, that is deep, dark, the darkest red. But still you can click here, you see, you can click here, and then you define your own color freely that you want, and then you can even pick from anywhere, you see, and then you press enter. Sorry, that color, click here, you can as well copy this hexadecimal and then you pass into color, and then you'll be able to get your what? Your color that you want. You see? You can be able to get your color that you want. Press there. I'm showing you beautiful techniques. You see? You have all the colors in the world. You can even change whether it should be transparent or not. You see? All that. You see? So when you save, will change accordingly. So it's beautiful. Let us stick to colors dot whatever you want, maybe dot 600, so it will be with the intensity of 600. So that is how we do what? We play with colors, and that's how you can look at the container with colors. We will learn more about colors as we proceed. Okay, so you've learned that. Next time you want colors, that's what we play with. So what other parameter does this take? We say it takes padding. So padding, I have my friend here always struggling with the difference between padding and margin. So let us look at what's meant by padding. I hope we are going to look at what meant by padding and margin. I hope you'll understand it. You will. You're smart guys. So now I'll fill this item with you see, I've filled it with everything. So what's meant by padding? When you say padding, what do we mean? So padding is the space between a certain container, the space between a certain container and its content. That's a simple definition of padding. Certain container and its content. So if you have a content and if you have a container or a certain thing that is containing some things and the content inside it, so the space between its inside and inside layers, inside the boundaries with the content is what you call padding. For example, you see this guy is really touching where the container starts from. This text inside this container, they are touching where the container starts from. But what if you want to space them so that they should not touch exactly the boundary or the wall, there we'll use something called padding. So let's go ahead and implement maybe some padding and make sure these things are not touching the wall. Okay, so to do that, we just simply write that padding like this. Now padding will take something called edge insets. Okay, edge insets. Now you have to watch here very carefully and listen. Okay, so someone is talking. Hello? My earphone is not plugged in. If someone has nothing to say, you have to mute your microphone. No, but can you mute your microphone, please? No, but unless you have something to say. Thank you. So now padding, it will take something called edge insets. Okay? So you put dot. So when you write edge insets, you specify whether you want to put only or all. Then you have left to right, and then from window padding. Let's look at what we call only. So you put edge inset dot only, it will open for you a bracket. So dot only means that you want to specify padding in specific area, in specific areas. For example, I can say only left. So they say left, it means that on the right hand side. So you can put here a number. So if I put 10 and I save, you can see the text that on the left side have extended by 10. If I put 50, you can see there is a space between the layout, between the container and the content inside it. So if I come and say right, so you put comma and put right, you can go ahead and specify. Maybe I can put 90. You see? So I can put here maybe 20 and come and put here 20. So left and right will have 20, 20. You can as well specify on top and bottom. So that is what is meant by padding. So edge inset, we have another way how you can specify edge insets. Let me comment this one and I show you another way. So I'll comment this, maybe you can look at it. So I'll go again and specify padding. padding, I'm going to pass edge insets dot. So you have another one called all. Okay, so all you will just put only one value and to be implemented on the entire padding. So if I put dot 10, so if I save, so it means that 10 has been implemented on top, bottom, right, and everywhere. You get it, eh? I hope you get it. So that is it. So you have another one called, let me put the last one. Okay. So let me put again padding. So put edge inset dot. Then we have LOTRB, not LGBT. LOTRB, left, top, right, bottom. So if you put like that, you just pass the parameters. So you put specify for the left, and then specify for the top maybe, and then specify for the right, and then specify for the bottom. So without specifying the naming, that's the whole point. So if I save, and it crying, okay. I don't know why. So that is how. Miss what is spring and morning. Can't find except like this. I don't know. I think we commented the brackets that's supposed to be at the end. Yeah. So that is the left, top, right, and bottom. So if you want, maybe you're at a high speed, you're very fast, you're on rush, you can always use the dot all, and then the padding will be implemented at all. It depends on how you want it. You see, when I put all dot 50, so all the sides will be implemented with the padding of what? Of 50. Now we proceed to margin. So margin is the opposite. Margin is the space between a certain item with its neighborhood or with its components that are nearby it. So margin is for outside while padding is for inside. So you should understand it with that simplicity. So I can put margin. So margin will also take edge insets. Edge insets dot only. So I can say left and then say 10. So if I say 10, you see, that white space has been spaced. So it means that this padding has been reduced. I mean the margin of this guy with his neighbor has been placed to 10. So if I put maybe 40, can you see? That's the beauty. So I can put also maybe also margin right, okay, and I put 10, and I put also maybe 40. Okay, I think it's being inserted in the side, so it has to be the type of it. Okay, so the whole point is margin will do what? Will create the space between that element with its what? With its neighbor. Okay, so go ahead and play with that. So I can put margin top, I can put even margin all. So margin all means that every space. So you now know what is meant by margin and padding. So when I'll give you the task to try and I say you should elaborate for me these features, you should be able to tell. So that's beautiful. Can you see? You can now do this. So that's margin. So if we proceed, just look at more components. Color, decoration, we'll look at it later. Transform, child, we'll already look at it. Text, alignment, we've already finished it. So that is how we deal with containers. That's the whole introduction that we may need to know about containers. Even inside a container, you can put another container. For example, I can go ahead and put again another container here. For example, I can come here and say scaffold. The background should be black, and then I come, that is black. And then I'm going to show you like doing something beautiful in Flutter is not very hard. Come and again between these texts, surround it with what? With another container. Another container, where is it? center, so container, there you go. So I'm going to come to this container and this guy inside here, and I give it margin and I say edge. Okay, let me give it first of all the background color. So I say color and then say colors dot yellow dot shade 700. I have the yellow there, and then we give it what? Height. We look at height, by the way. I can say infinity, double dot infinity, so it will be up to the maximum height it can be. Okay, and then also we can give it also you can give it the width and say maybe up to infinity, double dot infinity. Okay, so I can come and give it, see, that's what meant by infinity. So can you see what you've got? So I can come and give it maybe padding, alignment, text, alignment, so I would say alignment dot center, so the content will be centered, and then say maybe also it should have padding. I say edge inset dot all, and say maybe 40, then you have the content there, and then maybe come this guy and change it. Let me delete this guy and change it to let me come and maybe put a bracket here. I'll come and put here, I love Uganda, like this. Save, see, black, yellow, red with I love Uganda in the middle. Beautiful. You can go ahead and change the text color, but that's going to be in the next class. So let's go ahead and do that design. When you go to the next class, we're going to look at how you can style. For example, text, we have something called style that we're going to look at deeply in the next class. Here I'm just showing you freestyle. So I say, the next session, sorry. Text style, and then to start taking parameters. For example, I can say color, it should be white. Maybe black, the black. I can give it what you call weight, size, font size. I can make it maybe 50. Okay, I can give it what you call maybe can come and say new line. See, so I can give it, maybe I can make this guy 40. I can give it what you call font weight, font weight. I give it maybe 700. You see, come much more bolder. So supposed to be font weight dot weight 700, like this. Much more bolder. I can align it and center it. So I can come here, text align, just pass text align dot center. Beautiful. You see, with simplicity, not painful. I can change this guy to capital letter, so to uppercase by just writing like that. Beautiful. I can change this guy maybe to again with black, yellow, red surrounding. Was it painful? No, but try to do that in Java. You tell me. Okay, so that's it. That's it for today's section. I'm afraid he's struggling here with Java. That's it for today's session. For this first session. In the next session, we are going to look at the images, creating buttons. No, next session we're going to look at images, and then look at styling, and using how to create independent or components using widgets, or independent widgets or reusable components. We're going to look at images, decoration, what we call styling, and then also how to use how to use components, or how to create independent components that are reusable. That's what we're going to look at in the next session, unless there is anyone who may want to comment in just 1 minute, and then we go for a break. Anyone with something to say in a minute, or we go for